colleagues? Okay. Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday, October 8th, 2025, and we'd like to welcome everyone to the board meeting. We'll call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. Audio capabilities are listen only and are offered on a best effort for the public. Our meeting is also live streamed, and you can join us online by going to our website. Other viewing options are available at tctvonline.com. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute your phone when your agenda item is ready to be discussed. For those joining via computer, please unmute your microphone and turn on your camera when your agenda item is called. All others must remain muted with their cameras turned off. Thank you. Public comment. Those intending to provide public comment to the board may attend in person or email submissions to the public comments email on our website. Public comments received by 12 p.m. on Tuesday will be distributed to the board, posted online before the meeting, and become part of the public record. You may also provide public comment virtually by registering ahead of time. To register, please email public comments by 12 p.m. on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting. Public comments can also be mailed to the Board of Commissioners Office, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon, 97141. For more information on public comment options, please visit the Board of Commissioners webpage. Do we have anyone signed up in the room, or is anyone registered online for public comment? We do not. Okay, great. So we have called to order, so welcome. To those in the room, please sign the guest list for us if you have not, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I know, Heather. Gotta keep everybody guessing, Okay. So we have no public comment and no non-agenda items today. So we will start with item 5, which is consideration of a resolution proclaiming October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Tillamook County, Oregon. We have Valerie Bundy, the Executive Director at Tides of Change, with us this morning. Good morning, Valerie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. So I'm here as usual for October. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Our theme this year is Everyone Knows Someone. And I've been in this field for 16 years, and every time I meet new people and they ask me what I do, always somebody tells me their story as a survivor, their mom's story, their sister's story. There's always, or growing up as a child experiencing DV. So I think it's really, when we sit back and look as a community, I think everybody probably could identify that they do know someone if they are also maybe that someone. So I think it's important to help break the stigma that it is that, unfortunately, that prevalent in our community. Tillamook's no different than anywhere else in the country. And we continue to, in our office, have some amazing advocates that show up every day to be there alongside survivors, to hear their stories, and to really help them be able to identify what they need to be able to hopefully be able to be safe, right? And live thriving, happy lives. So this month, we are not doing a bunch of activities this month just because, things have been shifting around in our funding and our staffing. And so we really wanted to prioritize what was most important, which was services. But we will have our Soup Bowl this year again, October 25th from 5 to 7 at Pacific Restaurant. We're really excited. It's the 15th time that we'll be hosting a Soup Bowl. Last year was the first year we brought it back since the pandemic, and it was a really nice evening full of yummy foods. We'll have lots of soup, spreads, and desserts from various restaurants throughout Tillamook County. So we're really hoping people will come out. Tickets are already on sale. There's a link on our website. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Comments, commissioners? Would you like to start, Commissioner Bauer?
Sure, thank you. Well, I'm happy to see you this morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm on Valerie's board, and it's a pleasure to serve with you. And I want to thank you for your service and that of your staff. You do amazing work under difficult, stressful situations, conditions, in the best of times. And these budgetarily are not the best of times. So I'd like to point out to the public that this budgeting cycle has been extremely difficult because a lot of Tides of Change funding is federal. And it's been unclear what's coming in, what's not coming in. There's a lot of stuff that's tentative. There's, I think, the last time Valerie and I talked about this in a budget committee meeting, what we were sure of at this point is that we're not getting $58,000 that we budgeted for, that we anticipated and budgeted for. So we know for sure we're $58,000 short, but also there's a lot more that is still just unknown. So a lot of those funding sources are just like, yeah, it's up in the air. And so that makes budgeting very difficult. But it makes planning for services very difficult. It makes knowing whether or not to fill vacancies very difficult. So we, the board, asked Valerie to ascertain if worst case scenario, if all of the unknowns come to pass as no's and we lose everything that's on the line right now, what does that represent? And it represents about half of the revenue, about half of our budget, of our staff. And so that means half of the services. So that would be devastating. It would be devastating for not only the agency, of course, but the people we serve mainly, and it would have a horrifying ripple effect because if you're heading into a recession, God forbid, but there are signs, there are statistically domestic violence and sexual assault increase in stressful times in the community. And so the issue is not going to go away. It might get worse. We'll have half of the ability to serve people, and worse yet, we're in this boat, but it's pretty good compared to other rural providers. Other rural providers of smaller programs have narrower funding streams. Maybe they just have a couple, whereas we have several. And so if there are other agencies that provide these services in other counties that are at risk of closing. And if that happens, then those survivors will have nowhere to go and they might very well end up here. So we might end up with more survivors coming to us for the services we're able to provide, which will be less. So it really is a very dangerous time for these services, and I just want the community to know, because there's talk about, where is this? What is happening? What is happening with federal funding? And people, it's been kind of trickling in. It hasn't been totally clear, so people don't know, and so I think people should know. This is one agency in our community that does essential work that is at risk, and so please come out and support us at Super Bowl. There are opportunities for sponsorship. There are opportunities to volunteer. There are, people can come and enjoy the event. It's a fundraising event, and it's fabulous. And so there are lots of opportunities to get involved with Tides of Change, and also with the other agencies, Oregon Food Bank, other agencies that you have a passion for that are suffering from lack of funding. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't follow that, but thank you for all the work you do. I think you guys really are there for our survivors and victims of crimes when they need that extra bit of help. I appreciate the purple. I forgot my purple tie today. The Super Bowl event is fantastic. I was lucky enough to make soup last year, and I've been asked by Neely to make soup again this year, so I will be making my Italian family soup. And very supportive of this, and thank you for all the work you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. You, your team, everything you do. It's very humbling just to really think about the work you all do every day and what survivors go through. This is important that we talk about it. It's important that we pull it out of the shadows and just remind people that it's not their fault. if they are a victim, and that we have services. And so, to Commissioner Bell's point, keeping those services funded is absolutely crucial. So I appreciate you bringing this forward every year. I look forward to the Soup Bowl. I love the Soup Bowl. I have an entire cupboard full of them, and I was actually very fortunate to be one of the people that helped start that event when I was working there. So it always has an extra special place for me when I go. It was great to see Richard last year, Potter, that does the wood-fired kiln up in Astoria, where the bowls come from. So just it's a great event. So I really encourage everyone to come out for that event for sure. And if you can't make the event, write a check. You know,
Yeah.
this is the time, you know, we as commissioners get to say things, right? That we have the privilege here of reaching out into the homes of different folks. This is an important service. This is the time that our community is going to need to come together and provide support locally as we lose support from the federal government.
Mhm.
So I use this opportunity to do that, please. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. And I think just as we talk about bringing it out, a lot of times people think, oh, it can only be a few people we serve a year, but we serve 600 survivors a year, plus their children. So it is quite a significant amount of survivors in our community. And, you know, every year is more, but we're also serving, you know, people come on vacation and violence comes with them. So we're also serving our tourists in this community. We're calling them in the middle of the night and providing support to them 24/7. So I just think it's important to highlight, like, it is quite a large group of people in our community that are suffering, and there's even more people, right, that are not coming through our door yet. So
Right, and statistically, I know it used to be 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men. I'm not sure if that's
it's
still
about
what
like
they
1 in 3,
1 in
probably
3
women.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and we actually, when I was at Tides of Change back in the day, did our own study in Tillamook County. So, you know, a lot of times people say, "Oh, that's some kind of a national number. That doesn't reflect our community. We're nicer than that. We wouldn't have that here." And we actually did a study at that time with a consultant that was statistically significant. It was, you know, it was actually done at a level that you could say was statistically significant, and we were 1 in 3.
Yes, and Oregon is one of the higher rates in the country. Oregon Women's Foundation, several years ago, did a research study, and it was 1 in 2 women in Oregon that will experience domestic violence. So 50% of our population, that's pretty high. Yeah.
It is. And I don't know if people realize that a lot of times rural communities are among the highest prevalence because it's a place that an abuser can take someone, ensconce them in a home somewhere outside of town where they have no access to other people. They have no access to technology when they make that, no access to money. They just kind of say, we're going to take you here and control, because it is all about power and control. And rural communities are unfortunately a higher prevalence.
I appreciate you bringing up the statistic, how many women and men are impacted. And I've told this story before, but I think it's worth repeating that I became acquainted with Tides of Change, not when you were there, I think, but when Kathleen was there. And I was working at the Tillamook Headlight Herald, and so we're next door. And we were promoting something for, I think, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and that included the statistic. And so at the time, I read it and I thought, that's too many. I just thought, oh, that can't be right. That's too many. And so I talked to her about it, and she said, no, that's a real number. And then I started thinking about it, and I realized that not only is that not too many, but it was true in my family. That it was fascinating to me to observe my own denial about the subject, that I just didn't walk around thinking about it. That I like every woman in my family. Personally, I had a stalker in my 20s, which was a horrifying experience. My mother and my sister and my aunts and my aunts, all that whole generation all had their own episodes with domestic violence and sexual assault. So 100% of the women in my family. And then it was really informative to me to realize, like, oh, I'm part of the denial. And it's just, I think it's common for us to, in our culture, for us to just pretend it's not happening.
For sure. Yeah, it's much easier that way, right? We just, it's not right.
So thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your work.
Would you like to read the proclamation into the record for us as a motion?
You bet. In the matter of proclaiming October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Tillamook County, Oregon, this matter came before the Tillamook County Board of Commissioners on October 8th, 2025 at the request of Tides of Change. The board, being fully apprised of the representations of the above-named entity, finds as follows. Domestic violence, also known as intimate partner violence, is a serious public health crisis with life-altering consequences for survivors, children, families, and communities. Although the prevalence of domestic violence is often underestimated, the Centers for Disease Control report that almost 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have experienced physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. The 2025 Domestic Violence Awareness Month theme, Everyone Knows Someone, calls attention to the fact that domestic violence can happen to anyone, our family members, friends, neighbors, and coworkers, even ourselves. 4. In addition, domestic violence awareness celebrates the resilience of those who support and serve survivors throughout Tillamook County, including law enforcement, healthcare providers, schools, mental health providers, advocates, prosecutors, and the courts, food and meal providers, churches, transportation providers, housing and other social service agencies, the communication district businesses, and countless individuals. 5. Recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an opportunity for our voices to be heard in support of survivors. 6. Domestic Violence Awareness Month serves as a reminder of the long-term consequences of domestic violence for individuals and the community and the necessity of bringing it to the forefront of community awareness. 7. Domestic Violence Awareness Month also celebrates community members who are invited to participate in awareness activities, demonstrate support of survivors, join journeys of healing and resilience, work to create positive change in the world, and participate in the movement to help end domestic violence. 8. The Tillamook County Board of Commissioners strongly supports the efforts of national, state, and local partners and of every community member to actively engage in public and private efforts to raise awareness concerning sexual violence, to support survivors, and to hold perpetrators accountable. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Tillamook County Board of Commissioners joins advocates and communities across the country in playing an active role to raise awareness concerning sexual violence. Therefore, we hereby proclaim October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Tillamook County, Oregon. The Tillamook County Board of Commissioners encourages all community members of Tillamook County to observe Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Every day is an opportunity to create change for a better future.
I will second that.
Perfect. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you. I appreciate your support.
Okay, moving on to item 6. Consideration of a State of Oregon Criminal Justice Commission 2025-2027 jail-based medications for opioid use disorder grant application. Commissioner Bell.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. This is, as it says, a grant application for funding jail-based medications for the opioid use disorder program that is administered in the jail by Adventist Health. But for a series of technical reasons, Adventist Health isn't the correct agency to apply for the grant application, so it will, the folks in the jail are applying, and then the money will be used to pay the contract with Adventist Health.
Perfect. And this is year 2 of this grant.
Thank you.
Yes. Questions, comments, Commissioner?
I don't have any questions or comments.
Perfect. I was at the
Yeah, we got this through.
Yeah.
And we're getting the money.
Yes, I was at the Alcohol and Drug Policy Committee presentation yesterday here in Tillamook, which was very interesting, and looking at how the state is revisioning how 14 agencies that all have funds and programs around programs that touch the substance use disorder are going to be working together using this plan to try to create a system that is more well aligned across the 14 agencies. But one of the things they talked about was the jail medication grants. So I'm pleased that we're able to get it. So, okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a State of Oregon Criminal Justice Commission 2025-2027 jail-based medications for opioid use disorder grant application.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Smiling because you got to hang out with my friend Bubba.
I did. It was fun. Bubba King is a commissioner from Yamhill County, and he came because this was a regional meeting. They had Clatsop, Columbia, or Clatsop, Yamhill, and Tillamook.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was fun to walk into the room and see Bubba. Okay.
Fun to say his name.
I know,
Makes
right?
you-
Like
makes you smile.
he's the only person I happen to know named Bubba. So yeah. We digress. Okay. Item 7. Consideration of a personal services agreement with Clean Earth Environmental Solutions, Inc. for household hazardous waste, conditionally exempt generator waste, and agricultural pesticide waste management services. Justin Weiss, Solid Waste Program Manager. Good morning, Justin.
Good morning, Commissioners. Happy Wednesday to you all. So yes, before you today, we have the final agreement for our hazardous waste service provider. We had our notice of intent awarded, I believe, back in early September. So it's been dragging on a little bit. We had some back and forth with the lawyers, some delayed response times. And so it just kind of dragged on, unfortunately. But do have the final agreement here before you today, just before our upcoming hazardous waste event this Saturday from 9 to 1 p.m. at the Tillamook Transfer Station. So please come down, everyone, if you do have any hazardous materials to dispose of. That is this weekend. And yeah, this call for bid process was quick and swift. We didn't see any price increase come through from the service provider, which was surprising. Prices are going to match up our last annual contract. And as discussed multiple times, we're looking at, we're down to 6 events per year. We may adjust that in the summer to add some more events as you've had some longer lines and some frustrated people with the wait times. And so we're looking at the program to maybe bump it up to 7 or 8 to ease the summer rush for hazardous waste disposal. So popular program, happy to get the contract signed and keep that moving along. So happy to answer any questions if you do have any, Commissioners.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioners?
Love this program. We talk about this program a lot. I was just thinking about this program. I was cleaning out my garage and finding a bunch of paint cans.
Mhm.
And I love the idea that we have this. We have so many of these events that it helps keep those things out of the landfills. So good work. Glad the price didn't go up.
Agreed.
I agree with
Yes.
my colleague. Yeah, it's important.
Yep, same here. I think we are ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a personal services agreement with Clean Earth Environmental Solutions, Inc. for household hazardous waste, conditionally exempt generator waste, and agricultural pesticide waste management services.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
And Commissioners, real quick,
Yes.
public service announcements, if you don't mind. We do have, working with the city of Tillamook, we have a free mattress recycling event scheduled for next Saturday, October 18th at the Tillamook County Fairgrounds.
Oh.
So we've been passing flyers out to the libraries. We're going to be doing some social media. Headlight Herald working with MRC, the Mattress Recycling Council. They're the nonprofit that runs all the recycling efforts throughout the state of Oregon. So we'll be at the fairgrounds next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. offering free mattress disposal for residents as well as businesses. And yeah, this will be the first time we're doing it, so we're going to see how it goes. And I just wanted to share that with you, Commissioners. It'll also be on the Solid Waste website. So just looking to spread the word and hoping to have a good turnout.
That's great. Is that mattresses and box springs, Justin?
Yes, Commissioner, that would be both. Yeah, you can do mattresses and box springs.
Okay, thank you.
And Justin, before you go, I have one question I was asked the other day and I didn't have the answer. Is the yard debris program, does it have a expiration time for that? Because I looked on the thing and I didn't see one, but I didn't know if they were still able to do that.
Yeah, there was some confusion between, I guess you could say, Solid Waste, Oregon Department of Forestry on the end dates. There's been that funding switch. They pivoted from the Title III funds to a new funding mechanism. And so some within ODF had conveyed to Solid Waste and some of my team a September 30th end date, which is kind of typical of the program in prior years. But with the new funding mechanism and the way they applied for it, they need to use the funds ongoing. And so we're going to keep the program rolling until the funds expire. So yes, Tillamook County residents can still bring in their vouchers in perpetuity here through the holidays. But once the money does run out, we'll do a little press release and kind of let everybody know. But the Our Debris program is still active as of today.
Perfect. That was for Will Chapel. He asked me. So Will will probably put that in the paper.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That would be appreciated. Yeah. Thank you, commissioners.
I see Will is with us, so.
Oh, good. There you
easy-
go, Will.
Yeah, there you go, Will. Okay. All right, moving on to item 8. Consideration of a memorandum of understanding with the Oregon Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church for Harm Reduction Site Services. Marlene Petman, Administrator, Health and Human Services. Good morning, Marlene.
Good morning. I've been having some issues with my mic this morning, and I don't think it's on anybody's side but my own for having too many things open. So I'm just clarifying in case there's a problem.
Okay, we can hear
But,
you.
all right. So, yes, this is an agreement with Adventist Health for Harm Reduction Site Services. We are changing up some of the sites where harm reduction services are offered. And this is just to create that agreement and the roles and responsibilities associated with that. The scope includes harm reduction services 2 days per month on a mutually agreed upon day of the week, provide disposal of any waste created from services, provide staff and support, and to provide mobile clinic unit where supplies will be stored. So again, that's clarifying what our role is, and then our partner working with us will ensure that we have access and locations and partner. I don't think so much around staffing, but just to make sure that we get the word out. So I wanted to get approval for our agreement between Tillamook County and Adventist Health for this site,
Excellent. Thank
which is, sorry, forgot to mention the actual site. 2710 First Street in Tillamook.
Which is at their community center, is that correct? The church and the community center?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you. Questions or comments, commissioners?
No questions.
None.
Okay, perfect. I think we are ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a memorandum of understanding with the Oregon Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church for Harm Reduction Site Services.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Marlene, I think we've got a number of these with you this morning, so we'll move on to item 9. Consideration of a personnel requisition for a new regular part-time public health program representative in the Health and Human Services Department. Marlene.
Yes, this pertains to a grant that was received by the Health and Human Services Department for a Rural Health Network. I've mentioned this probably multiple times, both when we applied, status of what was pending, when the grant was awarded. Anyway, so this position is part-time and will be serving as the traditional health worker or community health worker coordinator under this grant, hopefully for the term of the grant, which is 4 years. We would like to employ the position, which will work in combination with our contract coordinator and traditional health workers across the county, whether that's in a healthcare setting or in a non-profit or NGO kind of arrangement. So yeah, that's the description.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions or comments, commissioners?
None for me.
None for me.
Okay, community health workers, peers have really been a growing workforce across the county, and so the opportunity to kind of have them work together and talk with one another is going to be really valuable, I think, for our community. So thank you, Marlene, for finding that. Okay. ready for a
Madam
motion?
Chair, I move approval of a personnel requisition for a new regular part-time public health program representative in the Health and Human Services Department.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 10, consideration of a third amendment to the Oregon Health Authority 2527 Intergovernmental Agreement number 185828 for the financing of public health services. Marlene.
Yes, this is a very small amendment in terms of dollar amount. It's $1,029.50, putting increasing funds in a specific program element. That's the required services that county provides in accordance with state requirements. And this one is leadership, governance, and program implementation. The other amendments in this pertain to specific definitions regarding tuberculosis case management. And it just has definitional language, not specific dollar amounts tied to it. And that really is the basic substance of the agreement. The detail on the financial is in attachment A or exhibit C.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions or comments, Commissioners?
Not for me.
None for me.
Okay, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a third amendment to the Oregon Health Authority 2025 to 2027 intergovernmental agreement number 185828 for the financing of public health services.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to item 11, consideration of a professional services agreement 25/26-006 with Dental Care LLC for the hiring of dental staff, providing oversight and training. Marlene.
Yes, you may recall the health department or health center has been working with Dental Care LLC to hire staff, train staff, recruit folks that work in our community and in our specific dental clinic as we're building up the capacity of our team and our contracted healthcare partners. The Dental Care LLC contract is substantial. As you can see, it's $590,000. And that is because it includes the cost for all of these staff that are then placed in our dental clinic on the corner of 8th and Ivy. Well, in that complex. So this agreement typically runs 1 year, and we got behind a month on reinstituting this agreement. So you see it says September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026. We have been engaged in this contract for several years. So we want to make sure that there's no loss in continuity for our partnership. There's specific language around the scope of services, which, as I mentioned, includes both the hiring the staff, but also placing them and working with us on recruitment and training aspects, which we do mutually to ensure staff are both trained for the job, and then we handle the credentialing and privileging on our side, and the Dental Care LLC does what they need to do for their compliance. But this is to ensure that staff are in fact trained and qualified to deliver dental services. That's a pretty broad overview, so happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Commissioners, any questions?
No, but I'm excited that it's moving forward.
Same.
Yeah, agreed. I think we are the Medicaid provider for dental care and have a panel of 5,000 individuals or something around that. So having the dental program that we have with some dentists that we have in our own facility and then the partnerships we have across the county, it's just really super important. So I'm happy that we're able to continue to do this and have the support through Dental Care LLC. So ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a professional services agreement 2025/2026-006 with Dental Care LLC for the hiring of dental staff, providing oversight and training.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you.
Okay, item 12, consideration of a tax deed to Kindred LLC. Joel Stevens, County Council.
Good morning, Commissioners. If you recall, a few weeks ago, we discussed this property. It was previously a foreclosure, and then a successor in interest approached the county about purchasing the property back. There's a separate statutory process that allows counties, when they determine it's in the county's best interest, to sell a property back to a previous owner. And this successor in interest qualified as that. So before you today is the deed that would transfer that property to the successor in interest. The order was already approved a couple weeks ago. We've received the funds, and with it, we also received a release. There's been some case law changes, as the board is aware, in recent years related to foreclosure proceeds. So along with this, we also received a release from any claims related to proceeds from the foreclosure.
Perfect, thank you. Questions, commissioners?
None for me. As Joel said, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah, just the conclusion of it, so.
Perfect, all right. Okay, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a tax deed to Kindred LLC.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, that brings us to board concerns. Commissioners, any board concerns this morning?
Not this morning.
And none for you. Okay, and none for me. So I'll go ahead and do our announcements. There is no board briefing scheduled for October 8th, 2025 at 2 p.m. The commissioners will attend a Jetty Creek watershed tour on Thursday, October 9th, 2025 at 9 a.m. The meeting will be held at the City of Rockaway Beach City Hall, 276 Highway 101 South, Rockaway Beach. Do we have an executive session? Okay, I thought we did. Okay, so we will go into executive session under,
I didn't know we had one, to be honest with you.
under,
192-660 sub 2 sub H to consult with counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of a public body with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed.
okay, thank you. With that, then we will go ahead and recess this meeting at 9:36.
That's okay.
We're ready? Okay. Thank you. We are out of executive session at 11 a.m. and I will reopen the board meeting at 11 a.m. and adjourn the board meeting at 11 a.m.